The USS Enterprise D cruises silently through the velvet darkness of space, stars streaking gently by. Are the bridges calm? The crew is engaged in routine exploration duties. Captain Jean-Luc Picard sits in his command chair, surveying the view on the main screen. A serene planet turning slowly below. Beside him, Counselor Dana Troll senses the peaceful curiosity among the crew. Commander William Riker stands at tactical, chatting softly with Lieutenant Worf, who monitors security. At the science station, Lieutenant Commander Data methodically scans the planet's surface, and at Ops, Ensign Rowe reports quiet readings. It is a moment of tranquil normalcy aboard the flagship of the Federation. Picard, softly, content. A quiet day on the frontier. Exactly what we needed. Riker, smirking, enjoying the calm while it lasts, sir. Worf, suddenly, looking at his console. Captain, sensors are detecting an unusual energy fluctuation directly ahead. Picard sits up, instantly alert, soars the nature of the fluctuation. Lieutenant Data, hands moving swiftly over the console. Scanning now, sir. Fascinating. A localized tear in the space-time continuum is forming off our port bow. Picard, on screen. The view screen shifts to display a patch of space near the orbit of the planet below. A swirling rift of light has begun to coalesce, a shimmering vortex of violet and blue energy twisting like liquid glass. The anomaly crackles, expanding slowly. The bridge lighting reflects the eerie glow as all eyes turn to the screen. Worf, frowning deeply. Unknown anomaly. Possibly dangerous, Captain. Shields are at the ready. Picard, raising a hand. Maintain shields but hold position. Mr. Data, analysis. Data, the phenomenon appears to be a dimensional rift, sir. Similar in signature to a wormhole but highly unstable. It is radiating temporal particles and he tilts his head. Life signs, Captain. Riker, life signs. Coming through that rift. Picard stands and steps closer to the screen, eyes narrowing. Confirm that data. Data, confirmed. I am reading 5 life forms, humanoid and 1 artificial life form, all within the rift's event horizon. They appear to be coming through. Picard, softly, concentrating. I sense something as well, Captain. Emotions, sudden confusion, alarm, fear. It's faint, but growing stronger. Picard, prepare to assist. Worf, alert transporter room. 3, to stand by for emergency beam-in. If something or someone is coming through, we may need to get them off the bridge or out of space immediately. Worf, aye, sir. Security teams on standby. On the screen, the swirling rift abruptly flares in brightness. With a resonating whoosh, it expels a cluster of figures onto the bridge itself in a cascade of shimmering light. The phenomena is so unexpected that a few officers instinctively shield their eyes. When the light subsides, 6 unfamiliar figures now stand near the center of the bridge, looking around in bewilderment. They are children, 4 human children, perhaps around 10-12 years old, and with them are 2 very peculiar beings. One is a round, blue creature resembling an oversized cat standing on 2 legs. The other appears to be a small reddish-brown gadget that had tumbled out, but it quickly vanishes into thin air, the tail end of the rift sucking something back in perhaps. The blue cat-like being blinks his large eyes and steadies himself on stubby feet. The children, Nobita, Shizuka, John, and Sunio, cling to each other in confusion, eyes wide at their new surroundings. For a moment, everyone is frozen in shock. The bridge is silent, except for the hum of the engines and the faint crackle of the diminishing rift behind the newcomers. Then Worf springs into action, drawing his phaser. Worf, moving protectively between the intruders and Captain Picard. Intruders on the bridge. Security teams pour in from the turbo lift, weapons ready. Picard, holding out a hand swiftly. Belay that, Lieutenant. Stand down. These appear to be children. Lower your weapons, everyone. Worf hesitates but obeys, eyes narrowed as he scans the strange visitors. The other security officers also lower phasers, though they remain tense. Picard, soft, reassuring. It's all right. I sense they are just frightened and confused. The blue robotic cat, Doraemon, gently places himself between the Starfleet officers and the children, as if to shield the kids. His voice trembles but is polite. Doraemon, please. We mean no harm. He holds up his paw-like hands in a placating gesture. I'm sorry. I don't know how we got here. Nobita, peeking from behind Doraemon, voice quavering. Doraemon, where are we? What happened? Shizuka, it's so different. Are we in space? The children look around at the futuristic bridge, sleek consoles, the vast starfield on the viewer, the uniformed adults with alien features. Sunio clings to Jan, who stands braced as if ready to fight, though fear flickers in his eyes too. Jan, half bravado, half shaking. Who are these guys? You better not hurt us. I'll protect everyone. Sunio, voice trembling as he peers around Jan. Why? Yes, don't come closer. We have a robot cat with gadgets, you know. Despite Sunio's attempt at bluffing confidence, his face betrays awe and fear. Data, with curiosity, steps forward slowly, tricorder in hand. Picard nods to Troy, who gently smiles at the newcomers. Picard, voice calm and measured, the diplomat. It's all right. You're safe here. My name is Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the Starship Enterprise. You've had an unexpected journey, it seems. Churai. I'm Deanna Troy. I sense you're all very frightened, but please know we will not harm you. Doraemon studies the gentle expressions of Picard and Troy, and his tense posture softens slightly. Nobita gulps and steps out a bit, instinctively trusting the calm authority in Picard's voice. Nobita. I'm Nobita. Nobita. And these are my friends. Shizuka, Jan, Sunio. He places a hand on the blue cat robot's shoulder. And this is Doraemon. Data, eyes widening with intrigue. Fascinating. A self-motivated automaton. Doraemon, I'm what you might call a robot. Yes, my name is Doraemon. As Nobita said, we come from another place, another time, even. We were just in Nobita's room a moment ago. And then Shizuka, there was this strange door that wasn't Doraemon's anywhere door, like a swirling mirror. Doraemon, we all got pulled in. And Nobita, and now we're here, wherever here is. Picard, soft nod. You are aboard the Federation Starship Enterprise, a vessel of exploration. From what I gather, you came through that rift that appeared moments ago. Data, Captain, readings indicate the rift is closing. It appears to have been a transient dimensional gateway. Picard, understood. He steps closer to the children, and Doraemon, hands clasped behind his back in a reassuring posture. You are on a spaceship in the 24th century, stardate 43385.6, to be precise. but you seem to have originated elsewhere, perhaps even a different universe. Tears brim in Nobita's eyes at the overwhelming situation. Nobita, 24th century. Doraemon, how do we go home? This is far future, and a spaceship with aliens. He looks at Worf's ridged Klingon forehead and squeaks in surprise, then quickly bows apologetically, realizing he's staring. Sorry. Worf, observing the awkward bow, he holsters his phaser and speaks gruffly but not unkindly. None taken. Churai. Captain. I'm sensing a complex swirl of emotions from them. Fear, yes, but also wonder, and particularly from Nobita, a deep worry and yearning. I think he's terrified that they might be stuck here. Doraemon. Captain Picard, sir. He steps forward hesitantly. We truly didn't intend to intrude. If we pose any danger or inconvenience, I apologize. We just want to understand how to return to our own place and time. Picard. I assure you, Doraemon, you and your friends are not in trouble. Dimensional anomalies are by nature accidents. You're as much victims of this as we are surprised. Our primary concern is your well-being and figuring out how to send you home safely. He exchanges a glance with Riker. Riker, in the meantime, you must be shaken up. Perhaps we should escort our guests to sickbay for medical checkups, and then find somewhere more comfortable for them. Picard. Agreed. Turning to the group with a small smile, Dr. Crusher, our chief medical officer, will make sure none of you were hurt by the journey. That's standard procedure for anyone coming aboard unexpectedly. After that, we can sit and discuss what's happened. The children whisper among themselves. Shizuka gently encourages Nobita, who nods. Giant still looks wary, but Sunio's eyes dart around in awe at the high-tech surroundings. Shizuka. Thank you, Captain. I think we are okay. Just a little shaken. Doraemon. We appreciate your kindness.
Picard, Mr. Worf, please escort our guests to sickbay with Counselor Troy and have Dr. Crusher meet them there. I'll join you shortly after conferring with my officers.
Yes.
Captain. He gestures toward the turbolift, his posture stiff but attempting politeness. This way, please. T shall I. Smiles, extending a hand toward the turbolift invitingly.
I'll come with you.
There's no need to be afraid. Doraemon gently nudges the kids forward. They gather themselves and follow Troy and Worf into the turbolift. The doors hiss shut. On the bridge, Picard exhales slowly, turning to Riker and Data. The rift now completely gone from the view screen.
Picard.
Comments. Number 1. Riker. Well, sir, that's definitely a new one. Children, and a blue robotic cat falling out of a space-time rift onto our bridge. Data. The odds against such an event are incalculable. The rift was highly localized in both space and time. The fact that they materialized safely on the bridge, rather than in open space, suggests a guided element. Perhaps the rift locked onto our life signs or hull gravity. Picard. Or perhaps on them specifically. They might have brought it with them unwittingly. We'll need more information. He pauses, looking at the empty spot on the bridge, where moments ago a piece of another universe stood. They're essentially children far from home. Our mission is to explore and to aid those in need. Let's extend Federation hospitality and all due curiosity to this situation. Riker. I'll have quarters prepared for them, sir, in case it takes time to reopen that rift. Picard. Data. Gather any sensor readings we recorded of that anomaly. We'll need to understand it if we are to reverse it. Then Picard's face softens into a slight bemused smile. Doraemon, did I hear correctly? He called himself a robot.
in the form of a cat. Data. Asterisk. Yes, Captain. My tricorder scans did detect an artificial life form with them. It appears to be Doraemon himself. He is a highly sophisticated construct, far beyond 24th century Earth androids in some respects. His technology is unlike anything in Federation records. Picard, raising an eyebrow. Intriguing. All right, let's regroup in sickbay. I want to ensure our guests are well and begin understanding their situation. Picard straightens his uniform, casting one more glance at the now innocent stars on the main viewer, then strides into the turbolift with Data and Riker close behind. The scene opens in the Enterprise's sickbay. Beverly Crusher is running a medical tricorder over Shizuka, who sits on a biobed. Nobita and the others are perched on nearby beds, swinging their legs anxiously. Doraemon stands beside Nobita's bed, letting Dr. Crusher scan him as well. Troy is with Sunio and Jian, gently chatting to keep them calm. Worf looms nearby, arms folded, ever watchful. The sterile yet warm environment of sickbay and the gentle hum of the ship's engines form a calming backdrop. Crusher, smiling kindly at Shizuka. Well, aside from slightly elevated adrenaline levels, which is understandable given the scare, you seem perfectly healthy, Shizuka. No sign of radiation or dimensional stress. She pats Shizuka's hand and moves to scan Nobita. And you, Nobita? She frowns playfully at the tricorder. Your heart is racing, but I suspect that's just nerves. Nobita, I'm okay, ma'am. Just a little scared, I guess. Doraemon? Doctor, thank you for checking them. I'm very relieved they're all right. Crusher, of course. Now she hesitates, looking at her scanner as she points it at Doraemon. Your readings are extraordinary. You're fully mechanical, yet I'm picking up emotional responses too, like anxiety patterns akin to an organic life forms. She tilts her head, fascinated. You experience feelings. Doraemon nods, smiling modestly. I do have emotions. Yes, I'm a robotic cat from the 22nd century. Or at least from the 22nd century of our timeline. I'm built with an AI that allows personality and feelings. I'm essentially Nobita's companion and caretaker. Worf mutters aside to Troy, still wary. A sentient machine, reminiscent of Data, but very different in demeanor. We should remain cautious. Its abilities are unknown. Torai quietly back to Worf, reassuring. I sense sincerity and protectiveness from him. Worf, fear mostly, for the children's safety, nothing malicious. At that moment, the sickbay doors hiss open. Picard, Riker, and Data enter. Nobita and his friends straighten, watching the senior officers with a mix of hope and apprehension. Doraemon bows slightly toward Picard. Doraemon, Captain Picard, thank you for sending your doctor to help us. She says we're fine. Picard, I'm very glad to hear it. He offers a gentle smile to the group. How are you all feeling now? Shizuka, better, sir. A little overwhelmed, but everyone here is very kind. Jian gruffly, trying to sound tough. I'm fine. I've been through worse. He rubs the back of his head, though never in space. Sunio, this ship is amazing, Captain. I've never seen technology like this. He catches himself, remembering Doraemon's gadgets. Well, almost never. Picard, I can imagine this is quite a lot to take in. Believe me, for us as well, visitors from another dimension are far from ordinary. Riker, we've prepared some guest quarters for you to rest in later, and we'd love to learn more about where you came from. Picard, but first things first, we need to understand what brought you here, so we might have a chance of sending you home. Mr. Data, did you find anything in the anomalies readings? Data, yes, Captain. He steps forward, holding a pedati. The rift was a multi-dimensional conduit. It likely connected two distinct universes. The energy signature was not naturally occurring. It resembled artificially generated wormholes we've encountered, though on a smaller, more targeted scale. Doraemon, oh dear, we certainly didn't create it ourselves. The only thing I can imagine is, earlier today we were using one of my gadgets, the Anywhere door. Nobita wanted to visit a friend across town quickly, but something went wrong. Nobita, I remember. Doraemon. The door started glowing strangely, more than usual. Then that swirling tunnel pulled us in. Data. Anywhere door. His android eyes flicker with curiosity. Is that a device for teleportation? Doraemon? Precisely. It's one of my gadgets. It can open a doorway to anywhere the user wants to go, usually across Earth, or even to the moon, up to 10 light years away in our universe. Riker, 10 light years. He whistles low. That's some door. Picard exchanges a glance with Crusher and Troy. Such a thing would revolutionize transport. Doraemon. It normally works reliably, but perhaps the dimensional fabric in our area was thin. If the door malfunctioned, maybe it tore open this rift between realities, instead of just a spatial shortcut. Data. Nodding thoughtfully. That hypothesis aligns with the unusual readings. Your device likely interacted with subspace in a way we don't fully understand, causing a cross-dimensional jump rather than a local teleport. Picard, well, intended or not, you're here now, and rest assured we will do everything we can to help you return. In the meantime, he folds his arms kindly. I admit, I'm very curious about these gadgets of yours. Technology that defies even our 24th century science. Crusher, Captain, you should see what Doraemon has in his pouch. She gestures at the round pocket on Doraemon's belly. He has an entire array of devices in there, apparently from the future of their own world. Doraemon. Ah, yes. He taps his four-dimensional pocket proudly. I carry many useful tools to help Nobita. It's rather standard where I come from, but I suppose here it would seem extraordinary. Data. May I see one? He steps closer, almost childlike in his curiosity. Your Anywhere door. Perhaps I'd love to examine its properties. Doraemon. Of course. He reaches into the circular pocket on his tummy, rummaging in a comically deep way that seems impossible for his small body. With a soft pop, he pulls out a bright pink door with a simple frame, about as tall as he is. Here we are. Everyone in sickbay reacts with astonishment as Doraemon sets the pink Anywhere door upright on the floor. It looks like a toy prop at first glance. Dorothy, having entered quietly behind Data, his visor glowing. Is that a door? He runs his hand over its material. I'm not reading any power source. It's like it's tapping energy from subspace itself. Doraemon, this door can take you anywhere you imagine. He turns the brass knob and opens the door. If I say, Bridge of the Enterprise, and wish to go there, through the now open door, instead of the expected view of sickbay's wall, we see a window into another location entirely. The main bridge. Indeed, the pink door now forms a portal directly onto the Enterprise bridge, where a bewildered ensign at the con turns around in their chair to see where this door came from. Riker, jaw dropping slightly. That's the bridge. He can see the empty captain's chair beyond the door frame, exactly as if one could step through onto the bridge. Worf,
instinctively reaches for his phaser again. Inconceivable. A portable gateway. Picard holds up a hand, marveling extraordinary. He leans in to peer through the doorway at the bridge, and the equally surprised crewman there, then gently closes the door. Quite the security breach. He chuckles despite himself, but extraordinary nonetheless. Doraemon. Oh sorry. He blushes. If a robot cat could blush, and quickly closes the door as well, then taps it, and it disappears back into his pocket. I usually only use it for Nobita's errands. I didn't think about startling your crew.
Crusher, laughing lightly in disbelief. John Luke, that device just outdoes our transporters without even a hint of a transporter beam. Woodtier, the principle seems to involve spatial folding or quantum tunneling beyond anything we've achieved. This is beyond Federation science by a wide margin, Captain, and he has it in his pocket as a casual tool. Picard. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, as an old Earth author said. He smiles warmly at Doraemon. On the Enterprise, however, magic is simply science we haven't figured out yet. Trod, noticing Nobita's face. Captain, while all this fascinates us, I think the children are feeling a bit lost amid the tech talk. Nobita indeed is fiddling with his hands anxiously. Shizuka sits close to him, offering silent comfort. Jan and Sunio, though interested in the gadgets, seem restless and on edge away from home. Picard. Of course, he addresses the group gently. Nobita, Shizuka, Jan, Sunio, you must all have many questions and worries. Please, if there's anything we can do to make you comfortable, we've arranged quarters where you can rest together. We can replicate familiar foods if you're hungry. He pauses, and we will find a way to get you home. Nobita, thank you, Captain. Everyone, you've been so kind. It's just, I really want to go home. Our parents will be worried, and his eyes fill with tears again. A weight of anxiety on such young shoulders. Shizuka, softly putting an arm around Nobita. I'm sure we'll find a way, Nobita. Doraemon always finds a way. Jan, yeah, Big D's got us out of worse scrapes before. He nods firmly at Picard, trying to project confidence. Right, Doraemon? Doraemon smiling kindly, though his own worry shows in his eyes. I'll certainly do my best. As always, we'll get back, I promise. Trod, Captain, perhaps I could take them to 10 Forward for a while. A soothing environment. Some hot chocolate. It might calm their nerves. Picard, an excellent idea. He gestures invitingly. The ship's lounge has large windows looking out into space. It might be a gentle way for them to acclimate and talk a bit more informally. Riker, I'll join you all. He grins at the kids. Maybe tell you some stories about space adventures. Shunio, perking up, wiping his nose. Space adventures, like aliens and battles and stuff. Riker, oh, we've had our share of those. He chuckles, guiding them out of sickbay. I think you'll find we might have a few things in common with the adventures Doraemon takes you on. Trod, Riker, and Worf start leading the kids and Doraemon out into the corridor toward 10 Forward. Data and Geordi eagerly tag along, still discussing the gadgets amongst themselves. Crusher stays behind in sickbay to prepare some scans for later. Picard lingers a moment, watching them leave with a thoughtful expression. Crusher softly, coming to Picard's side. Children on the Enterprise, that always puts you a bit on edge, doesn't it? Picard smiles ruefully. You know me well, Beverly, but these children, There's something truly endearing about their trust and innocence in this bizarre situation. And Doraemon, a caretaker with technology beyond our wildest dreams. Yet he wears such concern on his face. He folds his arms, introspective. It's a strange inversion, isn't it? A machine with more obvious compassion than some humans I've known, and children wielding tools that challenge our reality. Crusher, you're wondering about the implications. Packard, how could I not? He glances at the empty bio-beds, remembering the frightened kids sitting there moments ago. One moment, they're playing at home. The next, they're aboard a starship centuries in the future. They rely entirely on that robotic cat and his bag of wonders to protect and guide them. What happens when those wonders can do things even we can't comprehend? What responsibility comes with that kind of power? Crusher lays a hand on Picard's arm gently. We'll figure it out, and you'll guide them, right? Jean-Luc, you always do. Picard nods appreciatively, but his face remains pensive as they exit sickbay together. 10 forward. The Enterprise's lounge is quiet at this hour. The expansive windows reveal a breathtaking panorama of stars and the curve of the blue-green planet below. The children and Doraemon stand pressed to the glass, gazing out in awe. Troy and Riker sit nearby at a table with them, and Gunan, the wise Elarian bartender, quietly prepares some drinks at the bar, observing the newcomers with her trademark, knowing smile. Shizuka, whispering, "It's so beautiful, all those stars. And that planet, which one is it?" Trard, "It's an uninhabited world we're charting. It doesn't have a name, just a catalog number. But it's very much like Earth." Sunio, "You mean we're really in space, like truly outer space on a spaceship?" Even having seen the bridge, the reality is sinking in anew. He looks both terrified and thrilled. Riker, "Absolutely. The Enterprise is one of the most advanced ships in Starfleet. You're safe here with us among the stars." Jian, pressing his hands against the glass, trying to look tough despite quivering slightly. "I've been in space before. Well, kind of. Doraemon took us on a trip to the moon once with a gadget." He grins sheepishly. "But nothing like this ship." Doraemon chuckles. "That's true. We've had our share of adventures. Journeys to the past, even to other planets in our own universe. But this is on another level, isn't it?" He looks out the window, ears twitching with wonder. Nobita sits at the table, quiet and introspective, staring into a mug of hot chocolate. Guinan set before him. "Adventures, we usually just get into messes because of my mistakes." He sighs. Trard, sliding into the seat next to Nobita, "Are you thinking it's your fault you're here now, Nobita?" Nobita nods slowly, eyes downcast. "I was the one who wanted to use the anywhere door today. I was impatient and begged Doraemon. If I hadn't, that rift might not have grabbed us. Now I've dragged everyone." Shizuka-chan, John Sunio, into danger, and poor Doraemon has to fix it all again. His voice cracks with guilt. Doraemon turns from the window, hearing Nobita, and his expression falls into tender concern. Doraemon, "Nobita, you mustn't blame yourself. We've encountered odd phenomena before. This isn't your fault." Trard, gently placing a hand on Nobita's shoulder, "I sense a lot of self-blame in you, more than just about this incident." Nobita, eyes brimming. He blurts, "I'm always relying on Doraemon. I'm not good at school. I get bullied. I mess up everything. If not for him, I'd be..." He chokes up. "I'd be a total failure."
Even now, I can't do anything to get us home. I'm just a burden. Shizuka leaves the window and comes to Nobita's side, hugging him reassuringly. Shizuka, that's not true. Nobita, you have a good heart. We all chose to go with you through that door. Remember? We stick together. Giant. Yeah. It's not like you opened that crazy rift on purpose. If it's anyone's fault, maybe it's aliens messing with us or something. He shoots a suspicious look around, as if any alien entity might be eavesdropping. Riker, smiling to ease them. I think in this case it was just a cosmic accident. We've seen enough weird space anomalies to know sometimes things just happen. Trod. Nobita, I know how overwhelming it can feel to have to depend on someone. She speaks with empathy, recalling countless counseling sessions. But you shouldn't think of yourself as a failure. From what little I've seen, you care deeply about your friends, and you have courage. For instance, you're here on a strange ship, talking to aliens like us. That takes bravery. Nobita sniffs, managing a small smile. I guess, but I still wish I could do more without always asking Doraemon for help. Giant, approaching quietly, her voice warm and wise. You know, asterisk, sometimes recognizing you need help is itself a strength, not a weakness. Everyone looks up at Ginan, who sets a plate of cookies on the table for the kids. Giant, continuing as she meets Nobita's eyes and leaning on friends in tough times. Well, that's what friends are for. Even the captain here. She nods at Riker, has people he relies on. Her eyes twinkle knowingly. Every great hero has a team. Riker chuckles. That's true. Captain Picard relies on all of us, and we rely on him. No one can do everything alone, kid. Nobita, I never thought of Captain Picard or you as needing help. You all seem so confident and capable. Trard, even we have our moments of doubt. Her gaze drifts momentarily, perhaps recalling personal trials. The important thing is, we try to become better from those experiences. Chayan, smiling at Nobita, with gentle pride. Nobita has grown more than he thinks. He has a lot of heart. Sometimes things go wrong. Yes, but he always learns and tries to make amends. That's why I have faith in him. Nobita wipes his eyes and smiles gratefully at Doraemon. The other kids nod in agreement, offering their support in their own ways. Shizuka squeezes his hand. Giant gives a friendly thump on his back that nearly spills the hot chocolate, and Sunio offers a cookie with a tentative grin. Sunio, here, Nobita, you can have the biggest one. Nobita, thanks guys. Nearby Data and Geordie have been observing quietly, letting the emotional moment play out. Data tilts his head, clearly processing the depth of feeling displayed. Data, speaking softly to Doraemon, you truly care for Nobita, don't you? Not just as a programmed assignment, but emotionally.
Doraemon, turning to Data, surprised by the earnest question. Yes, I do. Very much. Nobita is my best friend, almost like family. I was sent to help him have a better life, but over time, he's helped me learn what it means to care, to worry, to hope. Feelings I didn't know a robot could have until I experienced them. Data nods slowly, eyes focused as if examining something far away. I am an android, a machine created to look and act human. I am also on a journey to understand emotions. He hesitates, then adds quietly, I cannot truly feel them. Not yet. I can simulate some responses. I can choose to act in ethical ways, form friendships, but I do not experience emotions in the way you or my human colleagues do. Doraemon, listening with compassion. That sounds lonely. Data, a faint, polite smile. It can be. I have always imagined that achieving emotion would make me more complete. Watching you, Doraemon, I see an artificial being who exhibits genuine empathy and concern, almost parental protectiveness. I find myself envious. Doraemon, ears drooping humbly. Oh, Data, I never thought someone as advanced as you would envy me. In my world, I'm just a standard model robotic cat. Nobody special except to my friends, but I do cherish the ability to care for them. Perhaps in time, you will find a way to feel what you seek. You already seem very human. In many ways, I must say. Data, cocking his head. Human, many would disagree. I've often been told I'm more akin to a walking computer. Doraemon, you noticed Nobita's sadness and asked about it, didn't you? That curiosity and concern is where feeling begins, even if you cannot cry or laugh the way humans do. Your actions show an empathy of the mind. Maybe one day your heart will catch up with your mind. In the meantime, being there for your crew like you were ready to help us, that counts for a lot. Data absorbs this quietly. Geordie pats Data on the back. Geordie, you know Data. Sometimes I think you feel more than you realize, just in your own way. As this gentle conversation unfolds, Worf stands near the doors of 10 forward, arms crossed. His gaze never leaves the Doraemon group. Riker notices and approaches him. Riker, relax. Worf, you're on edge. Worf keeping his voice low. Commander, those gadgets Doraemon carries, they are powerful. A door that can go anywhere, in anyone's hands. And he mentioned having many tools. We have no idea what else he has. Potentially dangerous weapons. Riker, you think the kids or the cat are a threat? Worf grunts. Not intentionally. Perhaps, but security is my duty. I must consider all possibilities. What if one of those devices falls into the wrong hands? Or if the children accidentally activate something hazardous? They are children, after all, prone to mischief or mistakes. Riker nods thoughtfully. It's true, the technology they're carrying could pose risks, but we can't exactly confiscate Doraemon's gadgets like he's a prisoner. That would hardly be hospitable. Worf, no. He frowns deeply, conflicted, but I advise caution. Perhaps restrict their access to sensitive areas and closely monitor any gadget usage. Riker slaps Worf amicably on the shoulder. Understood. We'll be careful. For what it's worth, I think Doraemon is responsible. He seems to keep the gadgets in check unless needed. Worf, quietly. Even so, I've requested an engineering team to run scans for any unusual energy spikes. Early warning if another door opens or something worse. Riker smiles, always thinking ahead, Mr. Worf. Suddenly, the ship shudders softly. The lights flicker for a brief moment. The gentle hum of the warp engines hiccups, causing the crew to look up in concern. Geordie, tapping his visor. Did anyone feel that? Picker, =sign, Picard to bridge. Report, =sign. The voice of an officer responds over comms. Officer com, =sign, sir. A minor subspace disturbance. Origin unknown. The warp field fluctuated momentarily. We're stable now, but that anomaly's residual effects might be lingering. =sign, Picard. =sign. Understood. Keep me informed. Picard out. =sign. Nobita and his friends look around with wide eyes. A tremor on a starship is an unfamiliar sensation to them. Nobita, was that because of us? Pika, having just arrived in 10 forward during the comm, he addresses them reassuringly. Perhaps not. It could be residual aftershocks from the dimensional rift. We're looking into it. Doraemon, Captain, if our presence or our gadgets are causing any harm to your ship, we should know. Pika, so far nothing indicates a direct threat, but I'm curious. Do your gadgets ever, backfire in strange ways? Nobita, Shizuka, Jian, and Sunio exchange knowing glances. Shizuka, sometimes, if used improperly, she eyes Nobita and the others, who each recall various mishaps. Nobita, there was that time I accidentally shrank Dad with a small light. Sunio, and when I used the anywhere door to sneak into a baseball game without paying, and ended up on the pitcher's mound mid-game. He flushes at the memory. Jian, and the time we nearly tore a hole in reality with the time machine, because we tried to get a sneak peek at answers for our exam. Doraemon, clearing his throat, cheeks reddening in embarrassment. I might have a few case studies to share about misuse of gadgets, but I try to supervise them carefully. Pika, I see. He gives a pointed but kind look to the children. Technology so powerful requires great responsibility in its use. Doraemon, Captain, I assure you I'll keep all gadgets secure unless absolutely necessary. The last thing I want is to cause trouble on your ship. Pika, smiling gently. I appreciate that. We trust you, just as your friends trust you, and we will do our best to justify your trust in us to get you home. Troy stands and approaches Picard, a concerned look on her face. Troy, Captain, while you were on comms, I sensed something unusual, a kind of emotional echo. It came and went with that disturbance. Pika, emotional echo. Troy, it's hard to explain, like a ripple of intense feeling not from anyone in this room. It might have come from the planet below, or she looks at the children. Some side effect of the dimensional rift. Pika, the planet. He frowns. We haven't detected life on that world beyond lower life forms. DA, correct, Captain. The planet is mostly uninhabited, though initial scans showed ruins of a possibly extinct civilization. However, no current intelligent life was found. Troy, perhaps I'm mistaken. It was so brief. Maybe. She glances again at the kids, then shakes her head. It might have been nothing. Pika, gently, if you sense it again, let us know immediately. Counselor, Troy, of course. Picard's come badge chirps. EA Forge come, equal sign, 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 Picard. Equal sign, Picard. Here, go ahead. Equal sign, 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 Captain. We think we have a way to recreate the dimensional rift, but it's tricky. We need to locate the exact subspace frequency of Doraemon's anywhere door. If we can sync our deflector dish to emit a burst at that frequency, maybe we can open the gateway again intentionally. Equal sign, Picard. Equal sign. Good work, Geordie. Coordinate with Mr. Data and Doraemon. He might be able to provide insight into the gadget's operation, but exercise caution. We don't want to make things worse. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Aye, sir. I'll set up in engineering. LaForge out. Equal sign, Picard. Doraemon. Data. Perhaps you two can assist Geordie in engineering with that. Doraemon. Certainly. Anything I can do to help us get back, I'll do it. Data. With enthusiasm, I'd be most interested in examining how your device interacts with our deflector. Picard. Good. While you do that, I'll have Counselor Troy and Mr. Worf continue to look after the children. He addresses the kids. You four, would you like to see more of the ship or maybe rest for a bit in your quarters? A Shizuka. Actually, may we see the planet from closer up? Maybe from our observation deck. It's sad to think the civilization there is gone. I love history. Picard smiles at her thoughtfulness. We might arrange something. I share your appreciation for history, but we have to be careful not to disturb anything there without understanding it. Perhaps just a view from the observation lounge for now. A Shizuka, that would be fine. Thank you. Picard. All right, Mr. Worf, would you accompany Counselor Troy and our guests to the forward observation lounge? He knows Worf will like keeping a close eye on them in a controlled environment. Picard. Worf. Yes, sir. He motions for the children to follow.
Riker standing. I'll join them as well, sir. Picard. Good. I'll check in with you all shortly. And kids, enjoy the view. Nobita, Shizuka, Jian, and Sunio trail after Troy, Riker, and Worf, leaving Doraemon with Data and Picard. As they depart, Doraemon looks back, visibly torn between staying to help in engineering and wanting to keep close to his charges. Doraemon, Captain, please keep them safe. They tend to attract unintended trouble. Picard nods reassuringly. Counselor Troy and Commander Riker will take good care of them. Worf as well. He may seem stern, but he's very dependable. Doraemon. Understood. He steels himself. Let's go see this engineering of yours, then. Picard and Data lead Doraemon out, heading for the turbo lift toward engineering, as the groups temporarily split up. In the observation lounge, floor-to-ceiling windows present a stunning vista of the planet below. It's a lush world of turquoise oceans and emerald continents, dotted with cloud swirls. The ship is in orbit, giving a clear view of vast forests and shimmering seas. Troy and Riker stand with the children by the window, pointing out the planet's features. Worf hangs back by the doors, arms folded in his habitual stance, always vigilant. Shizuka. It looks so peaceful from up here. Hard to imagine an entire civilization lived there. And now, it's quiet. Riker. We suspect a natural disaster or ecological collapse might have ended their society long ago. We were here to study and make sure nothing threatens future life developing. Nobita, if it was a disaster, couldn't you help fix the planet? You have a big starship and all this advanced science. Troy exchanges a glance with Riker. We have some capabilities, but we also have rules, especially about interfering with natural events or with cultures that we don't fully understand. Riker. It's called the Prime Directive. Nobita. It's our most important principle. We don't interfere in the natural development of other civilizations, especially pre-warped ones. In this case, the civilization is gone, but the principle also guides us not to play gods with planetary ecosystems unless absolutely necessary. Jian, even if people are suffering. Riker. It's not an easy rule. Sometimes people are suffering, and we have the power to help, but doing so could have unintended consequences or alter the course of their society drastically. Troy. It forces us to carefully consider long-term effects and respect the right of others to find their own path. The children digest that,
though it's clear some have trouble understanding the restraint. Sunio, so you just watch bad things happen if it's on another world and you don't step in. Troy, we try to avoid letting tragedies happen, if we can do so without violating that principle. But there have been painful times when we had to stand by. Yes, Nobita looks down at the blue planet thoughtfully. Nobita, in our adventures, whenever we saw someone in trouble, Doraemon would always help if he could, even if it meant breaking some rule or taking a risk. Because what's the point of having the power to help if you don't use it? Troy senses the earnest innocence and moral conflict in Nobita's heart as he speaks. Troy, I feel your compassion. Nobita, you have a good heart. The prime directive is something even we as adults struggle with. The captain has agonized over it on many occasions. Riker, quietly, remembering his own conflicts. It's not black and white, kids. For example, once Data found a young girl on a planet that was about to be destroyed by natural geological activity. We weren't supposed to interfere, but we had to decide whether to break the rule to save lives. He smiles a little sadly. In the end, we secretly helped them, because we couldn't live with doing nothing. But it was a very hard decision. Nobita, I think I understand. He looks at his own hands. Doing nothing can sometimes be worse than doing something wrong. Troy, there's wisdom in that too. The challenge is knowing when to act and when to hold back. As they talk, Worf's communicator beeps. Worf, pressing his badge, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, lay forge com, equal sign, Lu forge com. We need it for the deflector calibration, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, acknowledged. Worf to Data. I am transmitting the preliminary scans I took of that anywhere door earlier. Equal sign, Data, equal sign. Received, Mr. Worf. This will be quite helpful. Equal sign. Worf taps a few buttons on a pad. Sunio peers at Worf curiously. Sunio, Mr. Worf, sir. You're a Klingon, right? I've seen pictures in magazines. You guys are super strong and tough, aren't you? Worf, surprised at the direct question, he straightens proudly. Yes, I am Klingon. Our species values strength and honor. Jian, eyes lighting up competitively. Strong, huh? Stronger than a sumo wrestler. I bet I could almost take you. He flexes an arm, trying to impress. Worf raises an eyebrow, a ghost of a grin on his lips. Almost. You are bold, young one. He decides to humor Jian, stepping forward. Klingons train in combat from youth. Show me your best warrior stance. Jian, delighted, drops into a clumsy approximation of a fighting stance he's seen on TV. Worf places a large hand on Jian's shoulder and adjusts it slightly. Worf, bend your knees. Keep your center of gravity low. There, Jian beams at being personally tutored by a real alien warrior. Jian, excited. When I tell my friends back home I sparred with a Klingon. Sunio, pointing out the window. Hey, what's that? Down on the planet's surface, a faint orange glow twinkles at the edge of a darkened continent. Ishizuka. It looks like fire. Riker frowns and steps closer to the glass. Computer, enhance sector 22 alpha on the planet's surface. Magnification 100. The large window, equipped with interactive display, zooms in digitally. The orange glows resolve into spreading patches of flame amid forested terrain. Even from orbit, it's clear a huge wildfire is ravaging part of a continent.
Troy, that's odd. I thought the planet was uninhabited and mostly stable. Worf checking a wall panel sensor readout. Sensors indicate sudden ignition of multiple fires across that region, possibly residual volcanic activity igniting dry areas. The atmospheric readings show large smoke concentrations. Riker, if left unchecked, that fire could destroy miles of forest. Normally, on an uninhabited planet, we'd let nature take its course. Shizuka, looking troubled. All those trees and animals might die, and it's an ancient place. Maybe the last remnants of that extinct civilization's environment. No, Beta, we could help. Right, it's not a civilization anymore, just nature. What harm in putting out a fire? That wouldn't break any directive, would it? Troy, hesitant. The Prime Directive generally applies to intelligent life, but even intervening in an ecosystem can have consequences. Though in this case, she glances at Riker. If the civilization is gone, and no one would be culturally contaminated, it's a gray area. Starfleet protocols would say avoid heavy-handed changes, but fire suppression, he sighs, we do it on Earth to preserve wildlife at times. Trof, Captain Picard would likely err on caution, but he also cherishes archaeological and ecological sites. He might approve a limited intervention to preserve this forest, especially if it holds historical significance. No, Beta, we have to do something. Doraemon has a gadget that could help. He pats his pockets, realizing Doraemon usually carries everything. Shizuka, the anywhere door could bring water, or maybe the small light to shrink the fire. Sunio, there's also that rain cloud syrup Doraemon once used to create rain on a hot day. He tries to recall Doraemon's stash. Gian, but Doraemon's not here. He's with Data and Geordi. No, Beta, we can call him back, right? Or maybe we can handle it. I know where the gadgets are in his pocket. He's let me use some before. Troy, concerned. No, Beta, I'm not sure it's wise to use one of Doraemon's devices without him present. He said they can be dangerous if misused. No, Beta, earnest and determined. I caused enough trouble by bringing us here. Let me do some good now. We can't just watch that forest burn. Please, Counselor Troy. Commander Riker. Riker looks torn. He taps his comm badge. Riker, =, Riker to Picard. =, Picard. Picard here. Riker. Captain, there's a significant wildfire on the planet's surface. No sapient life, but it could destroy a large swath of the environment, possibly including archaeological ruins. The children are very eager to assist in putting it out, perhaps using one of Doraemon's gadgets. There is a brief silence on the comm as Picard considers. Picard comm, =, what's your assessment? Number 1, =,
Riker standing. I'll join them as well, sir. Picard, good. I'll check in with you all shortly. And kids, enjoy the view. Nobita, Shizuka, Gian, and Sunio trail after Troy, Riker, and Worf, leaving Doraemon with Data and Picard. As they depart, Doraemon looks back, visibly torn between staying to help in engineering and wanting to keep close to his charges. Doraemon, Captain, please keep them safe. They tend to attract unintended trouble. Picard nods reassuringly. Counselor, Troy and Commander Riker will take good care of them. Worf as well. He may seem stern, but he's very dependable. Doraemon, understood. He steels himself. Let's go see this engineering of yours, then. Picard and Data lead Doraemon out, heading for the turbo lift toward engineering. As the groups temporarily split up. In the observation lounge, floor-to-ceiling windows present a stunning vista of the planet below. It's a lush world of turquoise oceans and emerald continents, dotted with cloud swirls. The ship is in orbit, giving a clear view of vast forests and shimmering seas. Troy and Riker stand with the children by the window, pointing out the planet's features. Worf hangs back by the doors, arms folded in his habitual stance, always vigilant. Shizuka, it looks so peaceful from up here. Hard to imagine an entire civilization lived there, and now it's quiet. Riker, we suspect a natural disaster or ecological collapse might have ended their society long ago. We were here to study and make sure nothing threatens future life developing. Nobita, if it was a disaster, couldn't you help fix the planet? You have a big starship and all this advanced science. Troy exchanges a glance with Riker. We have some capabilities, but we also have rules, especially about interfering with natural events or with cultures that we don't fully understand. Riker, it's called the Prime Directive. Nobita, it's our most important principle. We don't interfere in the natural development of other civilizations, especially pre-warped ones. In this case, the civilization is gone, but the principle also guides us not to play gods with planetary ecosystems unless absolutely necessary. Gian, even if people are suffering. Riker, it's not an easy rule. Sometimes people are suffering, and we have the power to help, but doing so could have unintended consequences or alter the course of their society drastically. Troy, it forces us to carefully consider long-term effects and respect the right of others to find their own path. The children digest that, though it's clear some have trouble understanding the restraint. Sunio, so you just watch bad things happen if it's on another world and you don't step in. Troy, we try to avoid letting tragedies happen if we can do so without violating that principle. But there have been painful times when we had to stand by. Yes, Nobita looks down at the blue planet thoughtfully. Nobita, in our adventures, whenever we saw someone in trouble, Doraemon would always help if he could, even if it meant breaking some rule or taking a risk. Because what's the point of having the power to help if you don't use it? Troy senses the earnest innocence and moral conflict in Nobita's heart as he speaks. Troy, I feel your compassion. Nobita, you have a good heart. The Prime Directive is something even we as adults struggle with. The captain has agonized over it on many occasions. Riker, quietly, remembering his own conflicts. It's not black and white, kids. For example, once Data found a young girl on a planet that was about to be destroyed by natural geological activity. We weren't supposed to interfere, but we had to decide whether to break the rule to save lives. He smiles a little sadly. In the end, we secretly helped them because we couldn't live with doing nothing. But it was a very hard decision. Nobita, I think I understand. He looks at his own hands. Doing nothing can sometimes be worse than doing something wrong. Troy, there's wisdom in that too. The challenge is knowing when to act and when to hold back. As they talk, Worf's communicator beeps. Worf, pressing his badge, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, lay forge com, equal sign, Lu forge com. We need it for the deflector calibration, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, acknowledged. Worf to Data. I am transmitting the preliminary scans I took of that anywhere door earlier, equal sign, Data, equal sign. Received, Mr. Worf. This will be quite helpful. Equal sign. Worf taps a few buttons on a pad. Sunio peers at Worf curiously. Sunio, Mr. Worf, sir. You're a Klingon, right? I've seen pictures in magazines. You guys are super strong and tough, aren't you? Worf, surprised at the direct question, he straightens proudly. Yes, I am Klingon. Our species values strength and honor. Jian, eyes lighting up competitively. Strong, huh? Stronger than a sumo wrestler. I bet I could almost take you. He flexes an arm, trying to impress. Worf raises an eyebrow, a ghost of a grin on his lips. Almost. You are bold, young one. He decides to humor Jian, stepping forward. Klingons train in combat from youth. Show me your best warrior stance. Jian, delighted, drops into a clumsy approximation of a fighting stance he's seen on TV. Worf places a large hand on Jian's shoulder and adjusts it slightly. Worf, bend your knees. Keep your center of gravity low. There. Jian beams at being personally tutored by a real alien warrior. Jian, excited. When I tell my friends back home I sparred with a Klingon. Sunio, pointing out the window. Hey, what's that? Down on the planet's surface, a faint orange glow twinkles at the edge of a darkened continent. Ishizuka. It looks like fire. Riker frowns and steps closer to the glass. Computer, enhance Sector 22 Alpha on the planet's surface. Magnification 100. The large window, equipped with interactive display, zooms in digitally. The orange glows resolve into spreading patches of flame amid forested terrain. Even from orbit, it's clear a huge wildfire is ravaging part of a continent. Troy, that's odd. I thought the planet was uninhabited and mostly stable. Worf checking a wall panel sensor readout. Sensors indicate sudden ignition of multiple fires across that region, possibly residual volcanic activity igniting dry areas. The atmospheric readings show large smoke concentrations. Riker, if left unchecked, that fire could destroy miles of forest. Normally, on an uninhabited planet, we'd let nature take its course. Ishizuka, looking troubled. All those trees and animals might die, and it's an ancient place. Maybe the last remnants of that extinct civilization's environment. No, Beta, we could help. Right, it's not a civilization anymore, just nature. What harm in putting out a fire? That wouldn't break any directive, would it? Troy, hesitant. The Prime Directive generally applies to intelligent life, but even intervening in an ecosystem can have consequences. Though in this case, she glances at Riker. If the civilization is gone, and no one would be culturally contaminated, it's a gray area. Starfleet protocols would say avoid heavy-handed changes, but fire suppression, he sighs. We do it on Earth to preserve wildlife at times. Chorf, Captain Picard would likely err on caution, but he also cherishes archaeological and ecological sites. He might approve a limited intervention to preserve this forest, especially if it holds historical significance. No, Beta, we have to do something. Doraemon has a gadget that could help. He pats his pockets, realizing Doraemon usually carries everything. Shizuka, the anywhere door could bring water, or maybe the small light to shrink the fire. Sunio, there's also that rain cloud syrup Doraemon once used to create rain on a hot day. He tries to recall Doraemon's stash. Jian, but Doraemon's not here. He's with Data and Geordi. No, Beta, we can call him back, right? Or maybe we can handle it. I know where the gadgets are in his pocket. He's let me use some before. Troy, concerned. No, Beta,
I'm not sure it's wise to use one of Doraemon's devices without him present. He said they can be dangerous if misused. Nobita, earnest and determined. I caused enough trouble by bringing us here. Let me do some good now. We can't just watch that forest burn. Please, Counselor Troy. Commander Riker. Riker looks torn. He taps his comm badge. Riker, =, Riker to Picard. =, Picard. Picard here. Riker. Captain, there's a significant wildfire on the planet's surface. No sapient life, but it could destroy a large swath of the environment, possibly including archaeological ruins. The children are very eager to assist in putting it out, perhaps using one of Doraemon's gadgets. There is a brief silence on the comm as Picard considers. Picard comm, =, what's your assessment? Number 1, =,
Nobita, suddenly frightened, clutching the extinguisher gadget strap. If reality breaks, is it because of us? We didn't mean to cause any of this. Chao-Wai, kneeling to meet his eyes. No one is blaming you. This was an accident of the universe. But now, we know what we must do. Get you all safely home. Shai, Zuka. But the rift closed. Can it really open again? Riker, our crew is doing their best to make that happen. And Doraemon is helping them right now. Jayan looks downcast. Oh, we didn't even get to say goodbye properly to anyone. If we have to rush back, Sunio, we might still have a bit of time, right? I mean, I at least want to grab a souvenir. He sees Worf's stern eye and deflates. Just kidding. Riker, let's focus, everyone. You can express your thanks and farewells on the ship, if time permits. But first, we need to get you up there and ready. Worf, already tapping his comm badge. Worf to Enterprise. 8 to beam up. Priority. They gather, and within seconds, the transporter effect washes over them, dissolving the scorched forest scene into the cool, clean air of the Enterprise transporter room. Back aboard the Enterprise, the urgency is palpable. Red alert lights blink as the ship experiences another ripple, this one more pronounced, causing a brief power fluctuation. Crew members hurry through corridors, addressing minor system glitches, popping up like electronic echoes of the anomaly. In engineering, Doraemon stands with Data and Geordi at a large console tied into the ship's powerful deflector dish. Picard is there too, monitoring the effort. The main warp core glows behind them, pulsing steadily as they channel energy into a controlled recreation of the rift. Geordi, typing quickly, deflector power at 85%, aligning to frequency 8.550 terahertz, matching the signature of the Anywhere Door's quantum field. Doraemon, holding his Anywhere Door, now wired with some sensor, leads to the console. That should be the right frequency. I've calibrated the door to resonate once the field is projected. It will act as a focus to reopen the dimensional tunnel. Data to Picard. The calculations indicate a high probability of success, Captain. However, it will likely be a one-shot opportunity. The rift may only remain stable for a minute or two at most. Picard. Understood. We'll have to send them through the instant it's viable. He hits his comm badge, =, Picard to Riker. Status, =, We're back on board, sir. The children and Counselor Troy are with me in Transporter Room 3. We had an encounter on the planet. Some sort of guardian spirit warned us. The anomaly is destabilizing reality. =, Picard. =, We suspect as much. We're nearly ready here. I want everyone safe. I'll meet you at the transporter room with Doraemon and Data. as soon as we initiate the rift. Equal sign, 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 equal sign. Doraemon. Ears perk up in alarm at mention of destabilizing reality. Captain, did he say reality is destabilizing? Picard. Yes, apparently some remnant of the planet's civilization confirmed our fears. The universe is pushing back against this breach. We must act quickly. Doraemon, fidgeting with his paws. The kids, I hope they're all right. They must be so scared. Picard places a reassuring hand on Doraemon's shoulder. They're fine. They even helped save a forest down there. It seems you've taught them well, Doraemon. Now, let's get you all home. Geordi. Captain, deflector is at full charge. We can fire on your command. Coordinates locked on the original rift locus off our port bow. Picard takes a breath. Do it. From the exterior, the Enterprise's deflector dish emits a brilliant beam of multi-hued energy into the void of space. In engineering, consoles flicker as massive power surges through them. Doraemon's anywhere door, linked in, begins to glow bright pink, humming loudly. Data, field integrity at 97%. The door is activating. Suddenly, the anywhere door in Doraemon's paws springs open on its own. A howling wind of dimensional energy whips through engineering. Momentarily, fluttering loose pads and lab coats. Through the door stands the swirling vortex of the rift, like a tunnel of shimmering light waiting for them. Doraemon, steadying himself. It's open. We did it. Picard taps comm badge. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Picard to transporter room 3. The gateway is open in engineering. Bring everyone here on the double. Equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign. Understood. We're on our way. Equal sign, equal sign. Moments later, the doors to engineering slide open, and Troy and Riker usher in Nobita, Shizuka, Jian, and Sunio. They all look a bit wide-eyed, both from the hurried jog through corridors and the knowledge that this is it, the departure. Nobita, Doraemon. He breaks from Troy's side and runs to Doraemon, hugging him around his pudgy robotic middle. Are we going home now? Doraemon, patting Nobita's back comfortingly. Yes, the doorway is open. He gazes at the swirling portal beyond the door's frame, a view of shifting colors with a faint outline that could be Nobita's familiar bedroom on the other side. It looks like home. Shizuka, taking Sunio and Jian's hands unconsciously. That looks like your room, Nobita. I think I see your desk. Jian, peering, and my baseball glove I left there earlier. It came through. Sunio, laughing with relief. We really can go back. Picard steps forward, the red alert lights reflecting off his calm but resolved face. He addresses the group, raising his voice over the hum of the portal. Picard, there's little time. The rift will not hold for long. Gather together and step through that door. It should return you to your world, to the very moment you left, if our calculations are correct. Doraemon, smiling though her eyes are moist. She's grown a bit attached to these kids in this short time. You're going to be fine. It will feel just like walking through any door, Riker. And hey, what a story you'll have to tell. Though I'm not sure anyone will believe you. Sunio grins. Oh, I'll make them believe it. I got a holo photo with Commander Riker to prove it. Riker had indulgently taken a quick picture with the boasting boy earlier, which Sunio now clutches proudly. Picard chuckles. Perhaps it's best you keep this adventure as our little secret.
Your world might not be ready to know about this future or other universes. No, Peter, we understand. Even if we told people, they'd think it was just another crazy story. Shizuka, Captain Picard, Counselor Troy, Commander Riker, Mr. Worf, Mr. Data, everyone, thank you so much for everything. The children each take a moment as the portal crackles behind them to say their goodbyes. Jian, scratching his head, a bit bashful. It was an honor to meet real warriors like you, Mr. Worf. Maybe I'll become strong and honorable like you one day. Worf stands tall, giving a respectful, almost bow. You have a brave heart, Jian. Strength is nothing without honor. Remember that. Kapley, he offers a Klingon salute of success. Sunio, Commander Riker, thanks for the tour and the stories. He hesitates, then with a little smirk. If you ever need a suave, confident guy on your crew, you know, I could come back in a few years. Riker laughs. I'll keep your resume on file. Sunio, you've got the makings of a real adventurer. Shizuka, to Troy, clasping her hands. Counselor Troy, I'll never forget your kindness. Thank you for listening to us. To Nobita, Jorai squeezes Shizuka's hands gently. Take care of each other. You especially take care of Nobita, okay? Shizuka nods firmly, smiling through a tear. Nobita, approaching Data, and Picard, Mr. Data, I wish you success in finding your feelings. He bows politely in the way his mother taught him to elders. And Captain Picard, you remind me a bit of my teacher at school, but much wiser and kinder. Thank you for everything. Picard, moved, he bows his head slightly in return. The pleasure was ours. No, Peter, meeting you and your friends has been a unique delight. He then addresses Doraemon. Doraemon, would you walk with me for a moment? Picard gently guides Doraemon a few steps aside, out of earshot of the others, who are chatting excitedly and nervously by the portal. The captain and the round blue robot face each other amidst the throng of the warp core and the shimmering light of the doorway to another world. Picard, quietly, sincerely, I wanted to thank you, Doraemon. Before you go, you have shown us something truly remarkable. Not just your gadgets, but the bond you share with these children. It's been illuminating. Doraemon, modest and warm, I should be the one thanking you. You saved us and treated us with such care. In all our adventures, we've rarely met adults who took us so seriously and kindly. Nobita and the others, they'll always remember this, as will I. Picard folds his arms gently. You know, when I first saw you all, I was concerned. Children out of their depth, reliant on technology beyond their understanding. I worried how it might affect them, or what dangers it posed. The Prime Directive, in a way, is about keeping powerful knowledge away until one is ready. And yet, he smiles. You have been their guide, their guardian. Perhaps a bit like how we see ourselves guiding younger civilizations, but far more involved, more caring.
Doraemon. It hasn't been easy. He looks back at the kids fondly. There can be a handful, and I admit, I struggle with knowing how much to help. I have all these tools. I could solve so many of their problems instantly. But then would they learn anything? Nobita, especially. I worry if I'm making him too dependent. Picard, that is a familiar burden. As a Starfleet captain, I've sworn not to interfere unduly in the growth of others, yet I've also lain awake at night, wondering if by not intervening in some crisis, I was failing in compassion, caretaking. Whether a starship crew or a single child is a delicate balance. Doraemon, ears drooping a little as he considers. Exactly. I often ask myself, am I protecting him or holding him back? I want him to be happy and safe, but I also want him to grow strong and kind on his own. Picard, the fact that you ask those questions means you're doing your job with wisdom. There is no absolute answer. We simply do our best, case by case, day by day. He glances at Nobita, who is laughing a bit now as Riker mimics one of Gian's boastful poses to everyone's amusement. Picard, I saw Nobita's courage down on that planet. He jumped at the chance to help, despite his fears. That tells me you've instilled in him the right values. Perhaps he relies on you. Yes, but your influence has made him care for others. Doraemon, a tear welling in his big round eye. Hearing that means a lot to me. Sometimes I worry I'm like a crutch for him, but maybe I'm also a teacher in my own way. Picard, we all need a little help and teaching in youth. And as Guinan said, even when we're grown, the key perhaps is to know when to step in and when to step back, when to give the gadget and when to let him try on his own. Doraemon, I will remember that. He takes a deep breath, steadying himself for the journey ahead. Captain, I also realize something in our eagerness to explore your world. We almost overstayed and put it in peril. I would never want to harm your universe. I'm relieved we can leave before any serious damage occurs. Picard, another lesson we both relearn constantly. Even good intentions can have unintended effects. But all ended well thanks to cooperation and understanding. He extends his hand to the robot, unsure if Doraemon shakes hands, but offering nonetheless. Doraemon smiles widely and places his paw in Picard's hand in a friendly shake. We won't forget you or the Enterprise, Captain. Picard, nor we you. You've reminded us all of the wonder and innocence that we must preserve, even as we face the unknown out here. They release hands. The portal across the room flickers, the image of Nobita's familiar home wavering slightly. Data, calling out Captain. The rift is beginning to fluctuate. We may only have seconds now. Picard, raising his voice so all can hear. It's time. Everyone back to your universe. The children quickly gather around Doraemon. At the threshold of the glowing door, Sunio and Gian step through first, holding hands disappearing into the light with a whoop. Shizuka follows, pausing to wave goodbye one last time with a bright smile before vanishing. Nobita stands at the threshold with Doraemon and turns back to their new friends on the Enterprise. Nobita, goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. All. Doraemon. His eyes meet Picard's. Farewell, Captain Picard. Thank you for reminding me of the prime directive of my own heart. Picard bows his head in respect. Safe journey, my friends. Troy gives a little wave. Riker a final salute like two-fingered tap to his forehead. Worf stands at attention. Data offers a hopeful smile. Geordi records the final moments with his visor's memory. Dr. Crusher, having joined just in time, clasps her hands in a silent goodbye, and Picard stands with quiet dignity, a hint of emotion in his eyes. Doraemon and Nobita step through the doorway together. In an instant, the pink door slams shut behind them, and the entire device dissolves into glowing particles. The rift collapses in on itself with a gentle pop, and the space where it stood returns to normal, as if nothing had happened. The sudden silence in engineering is broken only by the hum of the warp core. The red alert lights cease flashing as the ship's systems stabilize. The crew left behind let out breaths they were holding. Troy, softly, they're gone, back where they belong. Data, sensors indicate the dimensional fissure has sealed completely. No further anomalies detected. GOD. And all ship systems are green. That was one smooth cross-dimensional exit. Worf, grunting approval. A textbook extraction. Riker grins at Worf. Textbook hum. Maybe after we write the book about blue robotic cats and magical gadgets saving forests with us. Picard steps forward to where the door was, now just empty air. For a moment, he simply contemplates. Then he turns to his crew. Picard. Well done, everyone. Counselor. I trust our guests are safely home with all memories intact. Troy closes her eyes briefly, focusing her empathic sense across the void of space-time just on the off chance. I can't sense them now, Captain, but I have a feeling things are as they should be. Picard, smiling gently, agreed. He addresses the room. This has been quite an experience, and while it may never enter our official logs in detail, I dare say it will live on in our hearts. We bridged not just space and time, but imagination and reality today. Crusher. Jean-Luc, you almost sound like Q there. Picard laughs lightly. Perish the thought. No, this was no omnipotent trickster. It was an earnest accident with a wholesome outcome, and I'm grateful for it. It reminded me of simpler dreams. Data. Captain, I find myself wondering, what will become of them? Will they continue as if nothing happened? Or will this adventure change them in their world? Picard. Probably a bit of both, Data. Children have a way of growing from their adventures, even if others don't know about them. I'd like to think Nobita will carry a little more confidence, Shizuka more inspiration, John more honor, Sunio maybe a touch more humility, though that last one might be hoping for much. Troy and Doraemon. Picard. Thoughtful Doraemon will continue guiding them, I'm sure, perhaps with a slightly heavier but wiser heart, knowing the fine line between helping and protecting. In a way, he's not so different from a Starfleet captain caring for his crew, balancing rules and compassion. Riker, smiling. One day, if that kid makes it to Starfleet, imagine the tales he'll tell at the Academy. Picard, with a twinkle in his eye. Somehow, I think our side of this tale will remain a quiet legend on the Enterprise only. But that's enough. He straightens his uniform and nods to everyone. Picard, make sure all systems are secured. Then number 1, set course for our next survey coordinate. We've got plenty of actual stars to explore yet. As the crew disperses to their duties, Picard lingers a moment, gazing at the spot where Doraemon and the children stood. In the background, through the viewports, the beautiful planet below rotates peacefully, its forests safe, and its ancient spirits at rest. Picard speaks softly to himself, barely audible. Picard, safe travels. Doraemon, take good care of them. He then turns smartly and exits engineering, the Enterprise D carrying on into the cosmic night, having been briefly the crossroads of two worlds, where the spirit of adventure and the lessons of responsibility converged in one unforgettable encounter.